That is what I'm talking about. It's my good friend Quentin Farrell. Thank you so much for that song. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Bonanza podcast. We have some guests today, but before we get into that, the multiple Brandons that reside inside me are gonna read a quote for everybody. A few quotes, in fact. Let's see. Okay. Boom. Here we go. He who withdraws himself from actions but ponders on their pleasures in his heart, he is under a delusion and is a false follower of the path. All right, now there's a second one that goes this. Let's I'll figure it out one day. Okay, so this one says, oops, why are you hiding from me? Okay. Same part, he withdraws himself from actions, but ponders on their pleasures in his heart. He is under delusion and is false follower of the path. But great is the man who, free from attachments and with a mind ruling its powers in harmony, works on the path of karma yoga, the path of concentrated action, or consecrated, excuse me, everybody, consecrated action. All right. So great quote from the Bhagavad Gita, and I have some guests I'm going to bring in right now. Hey, here we go. So two returning guests of the show. They've both been on plenty of times before. We've talked about Dune. We've talked about the Animus and the Anima and all kinds of stuff. But today we're just here to talk. We don't really have a specific topic, but we know that all of us have so much to say, so we're not worried about it. But anyway, I'd like to welcome my friends. First, Jeff and Joe P, both from Germany, by the way. So I'll give the floor to Jeff first. What's up, Jeff?
Hey, man. It's good to be here again. Yeah, just a brief introduction. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but I'm happy to be here again and hear from you, man. You have been gone for a long time, huh?
Yeah, I've been hermiting myself away as our other friend Joe. Although Joe and I both have shows with other people, so we have been sharing ourselves with the world. I'm ringing the bell. You guys probably can't hear it over here. So probably gonna have some interesting perspectives on things and stuff. And I guess with that, I'll say, what's up, Joe? How are you doing? How you been?
I'm good. It's been a while.
Indeed.
Both hearing from you as well as doing a show. It's been over a year since the last time we made a recording, right?
Was it September or was it maybe? I would have to look. Time to me, you guys get it, right? I mean, I was on time today, which I was excited about. I had my Zoom room open at like 20 of, but I just didn't. So, yeah, I mean, I think it was then, but then again, it feels like, and I know we talk a lot about personality types. For me, the way I experience time, it's like no time has passed at all. And it's like I was just hanging out with these guys just a few days ago.
True, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, time's a blur, huh?
You're simpler?
Time is a blur.
Oh yeah, life's a blur, yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's why this nature of consciousness and nature of reality, what we're told, like in the mainstream and stuff, versus what it could really be and what you can experience for yourself, not even with any kind of drugs, just like it said in the beginning in that quote. That's why I picked that quote, because I know both you guys have experience with altering your consciousnesses and states of mind, and a lot of it through like different practices, not just like I said, hallucinogens or whatever, but spiritual practices, religious practices, stuff like that. So that's why another reason why I always like to get together with you guys, because you have such a unique point of view compared to most people I speak to on a daily basis. Most people think I'm crazy, which is cool. It's the comedian in me. I'm going for that jester thing. But with you guys, it's nice because it's like we're sitting at a round table and you're like, oh no, I'm taking it seriously. What he's saying, he might be right about something.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say I have a deck of cards here. I'm gonna pull a deck, and then sometimes I just start to rant, and then we'll get into the ranting. This is the Lord of the Rings deck that I have. Very interesting deck. Oh, what a! I just pulled the Three of Swords.
All right.
The time is right. So, I mean, I would say that card would represent three of us, just three sharp wits that we have, and our ability to express ourselves with our wits. And it really just represents a fine weapon because anybody can express themselves with their anyone who can talk, but not everyone can express themselves clearly, or they might not even be clear to themselves because a lot of people are aware of their own emotional intelligence. But anywho, no, I think it's great though. Three of Swords. I'm just gonna read here what it says. It's like a little map. I mean, I have my own interpretation of the cards, but I always like to look because it's like, all right, Three Swords upright. When Theoden learned of Boromir's death, he allowed himself to mourn, to accept support from his loved ones, and to move through the cycles of grief. If the Three of Swords has appeared, you are being reminded to do the same. This card represents heartbreak and the human need to express sadness. If you don't honor your feelings, it may be impossible to fully heal. So be gentle with yourself and find a shoulder to cry on. You will be stronger for it. And then the reverse says, have you become your own worst critic? Finding fault in every action, are you allowing previous mistakes to haunt you? Resurrecting past defeats instead of acknowledging accomplishments? Stop wielding fear as a weapon and instead give yourself grace. You're attacking your own heart after all. I love how in both they're just telling you to be easy on yourself. And I like the definition of this card from this show because it's something we can all kind of relate with. And it does kind of go into the theme of the quote that I brought up, which is about not being phony about things. And a lot of times on the spiritual path, this is something I've been talking about a lot recently. The other show we talked about it too on Oversharing, where people think self-healing is like, look, this is me and I'm gonna just yay, like it's great. But what it really is like, it's like, yay, whoa, I'm doing great. Yeah, it's more and I tell people to not judge yourself is like one of the hardest lessons to really learn. But I feel like you guys are familiar with this stuff too. So I think it's cool. It goes in line with all of what we talk about because when we get on a show together, we kind of explore the dark and the light of things, which I like. So yeah. Anybody want to weigh in on that card or anything? Any ideas? Feel free. This is a really casual one. We're just gonna be chilling, so no pressure, By the way, I know I sound like an announcer over here, but I'm just working on my thing.
Yeah, I'm just getting into the tarot again. For a few weeks, I've been reading, I've been laying cards for somebody else as well, and they were really delighted. It's amazing what it can do with people. When because to me it meant nothing. It meant nothing. I saw the cards when they asked, all right, but I looked at it and it's the other person. It was clearly the other person, and the other person was so amazed. It was good. The same with some bartender. He he always used to lay his Crowley tarot. He has a Crowley tarot on his table, wrapped in a cloth with a snake. He says a young girl once forget it. She forgot it at this place and whatever the stories. And he lays it for me. It's like my whole life is there. I'm like, man, this is just fucking crazy. It's good, man. It's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah, dude, I love the tarot. I'm just trying to mess with these.
I'm just reading.
Go ahead.
I'm just reading my little Crowley tarot book because the meaning is always a bit different with Crowley.
Yeah. Which one do you have?
I have several, like the Raider Weight and the Crowley. I like to use the Crowley one. It's
I mean, which you said you had a book about the Crowley deck?
yeah, it's a German one. It's
Oh, right.
it's a small one. Here's the camera.
Yeah.
It's just for the first steps. I think it's okay. But I figured out we have to. It's really complex. One shouldn't start with a Crowley turtle because it's a bit different. It's much deeper. Like years ago, I thought he just changed a card or two, but it's totally different. It's a whole different thing, and I'm amazed how good it is. I really love it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
amazing the art that could come out of somebody despite who the artist is. It's kind of a bit I'm working on where like, because I like Lauryn Hill of the Fugees. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Lauryn Hill and what's the song? Killing Me Softly and all that. I always love the Fugees. And she made some remarks, I guess, in the 90s, and she was like, something like, I'd rather have my kids die of starvation than white people buy my albums, or, whatever, some kind of crazy remark, or probably got misquoted, or who knows. But I stuck up for her. I'm like, guys, but she's an artist. She's probably a little crazy, right? Which is fine. It makes her art better. You don't have to be a fan of cutting off ears to like Van Gogh, do you? You know what I mean? Like, look at Kanye West. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, that's
Yeah, I get that. Like, I'm actually becoming a huge Michael Jackson fan. I love the music. Bring up the
yeah,
guy. Like, I don't care about the guy, man. He's got some issues, but he made some good songs, man.
yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah. Something about that Michael Jackson with the Quincy Jones and they knew what they were doing. I was immune to it growing up in the 80s. I was born in 76. Thank you. I just had my 49th year in the realm or whatever it is a couple weeks ago. And I grew up, and my cousin was she was a little older than me, huge Michael Jackson fan. And I was just like, I don't get it. I was into like the Beastie Boys, like Metallica or whatever. I was so tough. So, but I can appreciate it now, though, especially as a DJ, because and it brings me back to Crowley or whatever. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, be excellent to each other and party on. So I feel like that's a philosophy that I've kind of been adopting. Really, you don't judge people; you're kind of just partying here in life, and you don't doesn't mean you have to like do drugs and get hammered all the time or whatever. But you're in this. I mean, you could whatever, but you're not judging people, and you're kind of in this. I don't know, in this zone or this flow, and it reminds me of what I think they were hinting at with the darkness, and it's kind of why I chose the quote in the beginning too. Because there's so many people that are like, I don't want to throw out judgment too, but I'll just say myself. I used to be like, all right, I can't do these things; they're bad. I'll abstain, and I'll be great. Look at me not doing these things. I'm so great. And I'm just like, whatever's in my path, unless it's, I'm not gonna do like hookers or crack, but or AIDS. Those are my go-to things. I love it's just so polarizing. But anyway, yeah, but it's just like let's just see what happens. I met someone in a cemetery a couple weeks ago, and the guy looked like, it was like New York, upstate a little bit. He could have been kind of not dangerous, but I'm not, whatever. Looked like a stoner a little bit with a backwards hat, whatever. And he started talking to me, look at me. I was like barefoot, walking around this and I had a great conversation with the guy. And I'm like, yeah, have a great day, brother. Like, you never know. Um, I don't know how I got started on that rant, but anyway, someone else. Go ahead.
Just looking through the cards. What's before and after the what's it? Grief? I
Grief
only got it in German. I have to see. What's it? What's number two? Peace. After that,
in the Major
cease
Arcana.
or something.
I have my deck over here. I can pull it out.
I got a German version, so it's Waffenruhe, like weapon,
Yeah.
as like a ceasefire. But yeah, how have you been, man? What have you been doing?
Me, well, I mean, I guess I could talk a little more. I mean, feel free to cut in. It is my show. I guess I could talk. So I've been great. I've been going through, how I people are familiar. I wrote a book about shadow work, and I've been going like through a dark night of the soul, and when you wake up, and there's all these people who talk about analogies about spirituality and how you wake up to certain things and all this stuff. Well, let me guess. I mean, let me tell you this. I woke up to some things, and some of the things weren't even spiritual. They're just in this physical realm, like having to do with my parentage. I haven't really been talking about it on the show. I kind of talked about it on one episode. If you guys want to find it, it's cool though. But so that was one. I also got married. So going through all these different metamorphoses, because I went from just being a single one Brandon to now it's a Brandabeth or a Liza Don. So and I really see how it transforms self-work in such another way, because there's always a person when you're with that person, there's always a mirror of your own behavior there. So it's like in your inner dialogue, if you have it. I mean, I try to cut it down, but anyway, when you're looking at things and who's something's fault or someone gets irritated, and again, I have a great relationship, by the way, guys. I always like to say that, because whatever I talk about on the show, sometimes I'm like, oh. But anyway, you know how it is. Everyone's been in a relationship, but now I, because I have this show, I do the Oversharing show, I do this show, and I talk about spirituality and looking within. So I'm forced to make a decision. And I'm like, is this my fault? I'm like, fuck, it is my fault, isn't it? So there's all these blind spots that come up. And my amazing wife has such a great intuition, and we listen to each other, and it's been really great. But as you wake up and see things, you notice that certain relationships in your life that change. It's really crazy, like with my family and stuff. They're great though, but even like friendships and stuff. So I also noticed I had this propensity to people please. And I thought I was just being a nice guy, which I'm still a nice guy. But now I saw what I was doing, and this is all just through doing self work, and I'm reading back through some books or listening through some things. I'm listening to this Jack Kornfield book right now, which I listened to maybe in like 2016, and all these other realities. I'm like, whoa, this is what he meant. This is what he was saying, right? And so I'm having a lot of that too, which is great. But it has been affecting some relationships that way, but mostly just the way I am. And I'm excited about it because I really want to start doing comedy more and stuff. And I feel like I can be more myself now. And I'm starting to find the characters within me, because before I thought self-work was like, oh, we got to clean up our act. But now I'm starting to realize it's more like there's all these Brandons that exist inside me. Something probably happened when I was young and I had to like split, but there's all these ones, and I was trying to deny certain ones, and I was like, that's not, and now I just got to realize they're all me. So no matter what it is, it's okay. It's okay if I do it. I might not want to keep, I'm trying to think of a funny thing I could say on YouTube. I might not want to keep stealing traffic cones. Just kidding. I don't do that. But it makes me feel good now. So I'm going to do it until I'm done or whatever. So I'm trying to look at things from that point of view. I also came up with this concept of guilt vacation, but we can come back to that. I'll let you guys comment or talk about any of that if you want to. But yeah, that's how I've been approaching life, and it's just been different and like supercharged. It really is amazing. Nothing spectacular, but just your everyday stuff is great. It's hard to. It seems like a simple existence, but I have a lot of fun. I'll just say that.
Man, you're married.
You've
How is
been.
it? How is it?
It really doesn't seem like a change from before. I feel like really what it is me validating to everybody and saying, no, I really do mean what I say. I'm going to stick by this woman no matter what and love her unconditionally. no matter what happens. That's how I view marriage. That's why I was never going to get married before, because I was like, this is ridiculous. But I had a more physical mindset then. It was a much different person. Read my book, everybody. Shadowworked.com. WORKED. Shadowworked.com. Anyway, yeah, so um I don't remember what I was saying. Anyway, yeah, it's just a totally different thing. It's cool though because I told Elizabeth now, like, you're under my wing now, like you have my protection. So it's great to have to establish that, and then also uh, as a man, it's different to just what's the right way to say this? Because it's not like it's a bad thing, but I have to clean up my act in certain ways, and I can't just be like a single dude anymore, just like doing whatever I want. And I don't mean like going out dating or whatever. I was like celibate for 4 years. I know you guys don't. I'm just saying this for the benefit of people watching. I just mean like, I just want to read Dune all night, but not that I want to do that anymore. But you know what I'm saying? It's a different, as you can imagine, it's a different lifestyle. But I really do enjoy it because I have somebody there to talk to about things and to give me, because I've always had problems taking advice from other people because I'm an INTP allegedly or whatever, and I could see other people making terrible mistakes in their lives, and I'm like, I'm not going to listen to that person, right? But she could see a lot of my blind spots, so it's good to hear from her. And at first, I don't always want to hear it. I'm like, oh, this ain't true, and then I'm like, oh, wait, you probably has a point, So it's cool, and again, that's how it kind of supercharges your self work because you're always kind of poking at the ego. And like I've said this so many times, I don't think there's a problem with the ego. I think we're just stuck in it. It's like a gear that everyone, especially in the West, is just stuck in their ego. Like, you could shift, man. So yeah, it's a good test of that also, I guess I could say. And yeah, it's great to build something with somebody because you could feel so alone in this realm. Like, this realm is just horrible. And this isn't anything I was always content alone. Like, I'm like a monk, I would have been great. And I think that's why the universe or whatever, God brought Elizabeth to me, because I was just like, I'll be fine alone. This would be great. And then I was like, no, try this one now. And I was like, oh, this is even better. So that's how I look at it.
What type is your wife?
INFP.
INFP. Joe, what
So
does it mean?
it's, yeah, well, it translates to real life as if neither of us did self work, or even if one of us didn't do self work, we probably would annoy each other eventually because of the tendencies. But because I've overcome things and I don't take things personally anymore. Just not, once in a while you're gonna take it personally, But I'm just working really hard on not taking things personally. And again, we have such a great relationship, so I know it makes it sound weird, right, when I talk about it on the show. But typically, and most INTPs are in their mother's basements anyway, or they're in like a firm making money, or they're not comedians who are artists who are like, sometimes. So it just shows my diversity. I really stepped on my shell earlier, and I was in the Marines. Even before that, I had friends that were like sticking me out, ripping me out of my shell all the time and stuff. So and I think she's the same way. She's a total artist, and I get that about her, and that's what I think makes it work so well. Because I accept her for who she is. I'm not trying to like, you should do this, or you should meditate, you should do this. I'm like, you're fucking great. I'm like, yeah, you want to change, whatever, that's fine, whatever you want to do, but what you got going on is great. And that's how I looked at it when I made that commitment. I'm like, how she is now, like I had to, look at it that way because you can't expect somebody else to change. And no matter how much knowledge they have, and again, I'm not, she's great, everybody. I don't want her to change. I'm just saying, generally in life, you can't expect if you make a friend or an acquaintance or you hire somebody, you can't be like, well, they'll get better. Maybe they will, but we're all adults here, so we know the story. Yeah.
What would you say are the challenges for an INTP in a relationship or in a monogamous
The monogamous thing or the
relationship with God and marriage, whatever this is. Well, what would you say are the challenges that you are facing?
Oh no, that's a great question. Well, I could say between INTP and INFP, some of the challenge that would arise is because I'm such a robot, right? Like I'm just like yeah, and my feelings to me don't really matter as much. So I'm just like, oh yeah, whatever, and like I'll go with the flow so much. Like when shit's going on, I was like, yeah, this is great, this hot tub water boiling. I'm like, this is fine. Um, I'm not always like that, everybody. I'm not like great, perfect, whatever. But anyway, so with my amazing wife, she's much more of a feeler. But it's an interesting dynamic, and it really is interesting to put them together because like what I do is I just think of how sometimes I can get lost in thought, and I'll like build these mental creations in my head and all these things. And then I just say, well, it must be like that with her for feeling. She must just get on these feelings and just. We talk about the ship. You guys are familiar with this term, like the INFPs get on the ship and they're just like, you know. So I'm like, I throw her my hair. I'm like, when get on the ship, I'm like, grab the line. I find that silliness helps a lot. But it's just me really. The challenge is to try to connect more of my feelings. I think she's really helping me with that because we have great communication when it comes to that stuff. So, and as far as in any kind of like, I went through so many different awakenings. I saw in my life why I was like afraid of commitment and stuff, and it all had to do with me. All roads led to me. So everything's about me anyway. You guys are fake anyway. No. Thanks for watching the show, everybody. By the way, thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. You fake people who aren't real out there. No. So, yeah. So it's really just been putting me in touch with my emotions, and what I've been going through like the last month or so since like Mother's Day, I guess, really, and then I got married and my birthday and all this stuff. I feel like I'm a new person in a way, and I'm just more open to things when people say stuff. I'm just like, all right, I could trust these people's opinions. Before I was just like, oh, these people are crazy, and you guys see why. I mean, you lived through 2020, so. And I could just imagine where you are in your part of the world. Anyway, yeah, that when Kobe Bryant died, that was really crazy, right? In 2020. Anyway, who was that, right? I don't want to say the wrong guy. Yeah, so I think I'd say those are like the challenges. But again, I look at it more as like more work. It's self-work, and I'm enthusiastic about it. I'm not like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. And I feel like it has a lot to do with the ego because I feel like me and her are building something that's greater than us. We plan to possibly procreate. So, we want to build a dynasty. That's what we're doing. We want to teach our children in that way, or people around us, the way that these elites, they're turning the frogs gay, and they teach their kids. We'll teach them the ways of you guys get it. So I think that's what we're looking forward to doing, and we're just gonna have fun on the process, and like whatever God puts in our way, we're both really chill like that. We're both really go with the flow. So that also kind of hinders us sometimes, or butts up against people when we're trying to be friends with some people, especially around here. But it's cool though, especially because I work a lot of weekends. But it's been really great. Met a lot of cool people. The wedding was a lot of fun. Small wedding, but it was amazing. Shout out to Dwayne Wayne, Lights Camera DJs. Dwayne, my friend, ended up DJing it, and it was so small. He was like a guest basically because there's other people there helping music and stuff. It was funny, so it was really cool. Just a good time. But yeah, I'd say those are some of the challenges. I mean, what do you guys as experts in the or sorry, experts? I'm so silly. As casual ponderers of the personality types. What would you guys say? What do you think? Does that sound typical of what you might hear?
So you got to speak, man.
Yeah, Joe, you go. You're the expert here. I'm just kidding.
You cannot be quiet anymore.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no secret to INTPs that do have problems with relationships for the most part until they find the right one. it seems. Now, why that is, I can't really say. I think it's too much brainstorming, too much. The grass is greener on the other side. Um,
Yeah.
this woman's hips are a little bigger. This one is, I don't like the way she talks, but it's like it always
Like
can be better.
Seinfeld.
Brainstorm. Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
about to say, INTPs maybe they're not like notorious like artists and stuff, but some of the most successful ones in the artists in their fields are INTPs. Like Larry David is arguably the most successful comedian ever because he created Seinfeld, and he's next to Jerry Seinfeld is one of the most richest comedians on the planet. And then he did, the Curb Your Enthusiasm and all that. But um, yeah, so you got INTP, Larry David, and you got famous authors like I want to say Stephen King. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that one, but the one Dune. Um,
Dean
there's
Koontz,
Dean
Frank
Koontz,
Herbert, right?
Frank Herbert. Yeah, Frank Herbert's an INTP. So you do have all these authors and musicians and artists and stuff like that. It's just they're either like the best of the best or the worst of the worst. It seems there's like no
Yeah, it's
middle.
funny, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I
Yeah,
was
either
like
it's
um,
that for a
perfect or
while.
it's not existent.
yeah,
It
yeah,
has to
yeah.
be perfect. If it's not perfect, it's not going to be put out there.
Uh,
And
Yeah, it's funny too because I could say what really helped me and helped me to be okay, I guess, with to make a commitment to one person and honor and really mean it is I really had to look inside, like do self work. I mean, I think it was there was something inside me that I was missing. And I just felt like I was going outward to fill it in all these, exploits or whatever and having fun and all this stuff. And I thought like I was the man or whatever. It was like making me a good person. But and that was attached to me being gaslit my whole life about, my parentage or certain things and other things too, because I've told a story about how when I was 5, I was in a car that was on fire and I got myself out of this car fire incident and all this stuff. And there's been a series of incidents like that. So anyway, I've been this INTP like child little genius, I guess, whatever. I don't care, I'll say it. And people have just been like doubting me and stuff, and I get it because I was little or whatever. And so I just started to that became my identity where I'm like, oh, I guess I'm not that smart. I guess I really am. And so I had to like heal all that stuff. Or, and I know I'm making the right choice. And some people might even say I went too far the other way, which I think is cool. I think you should allow yourself. That's what the guilt vacation thing I was talking about is about. But yeah, as far as the commitment thing and all that stuff, I think that's what it was because I could see before with the endless buffet and the choices and all that. But something happened to me and I fell on the ground and started crying and laughing at the same time. And ever since then, it's all gone differently. So I can't explain exactly what it was, but it was more like when Ram Dass talks about people that were interested in baseball cards and when they're kids and then they meet a girl for the first time, they're like, oh, fuck baseball cards, let's get women or whatever. It was like that. I just saw there was something else and I was like, I don't care about those other things anymore. It's silly. So it was more like that, like a Paul on the road to Damascus, Saul. I'm like, I was surrendering and now I'm Brandon. I was on the road to Damascus. So it was kind of like that, but the way they look at it, like what Joe was describing and you're talking about, it's a very conventional look at, and I'm sure you guys get what I'm saying, but it's like a mainstream or I think there's a occulted aspect to this personality type thing that people don't really talk about, or some people are just content to know their type and just be that, be like, oh, this is how I am. Whereas I use that knowledge to make myself feel okay in moments when I fuck up or when I do something that's my type. I'm like, that's just my, it's cool. But then I don't use it as an excuse, or I try not to use it as an excuse. I'll tell people, listen, if I told you this story, please let me know because I repeat stories. Like people I work with, I'm like, if I told you, just tell me, dude. I'm like, I don't care. I won't take it personally because I don't want to tell the same story 10 times because I won't even know. I'll just tell it. It'll be great for me. Anyway, so I use it like that and try to use it in a positive manner. And that's, is that in the letting go really method or just, I don't even know if I was doing it specifically then, like with the David R. Hawkins, but I was just letting go of certain things and that's really what led to it. I let go of this idea of who I was and who I had to be, and now I'm a wizard. And if anyone says I'm not, where's my wizard stick? I found a wizard stick at the beach. You guys are gonna love it. Here's. If anyone says I'm not, this piece of driftwood I found, I will banish them. I'll bonk them. So anyway, yeah, that's how it's going. But then again, I'm not a wizard. I'm everything. I'm eternally. I'm an ocean of consciousness. But then I'm also just a silly tall man, But that's how I think I overcame it in a roundabout way, or whatever you want to say. Just realize I just had a shift of perspective, I guess, And to anyone else who's out there that's an INTP or any type, if you're struggling with any of this, guess what? That's your fucking job here while you're here, and enjoy it. Have a good time. Do it till you're done. Don't be hard on yourself, because I feel like when you're hard on yourself, you're just perpetuating, could it be, this control that was like just when you were a kid, this is how you were kind of controlled, and this is schools did it that way, and society, and you're doing it to yourself. Not that there's anything wrong with those institutions I named. I mean, whatever, you have your own opinions, but what I mean is you can become your own person and decide how you want to react to things instead of just reacting, stuff like that. So I was blabbing again. I was what do I call it? I was brandom thoughts. Yeah. But that's all. That's I remember. Okay, so I was talking to INTPs or people out there struggling. The addiction is the fun part of life. It's all fun. It can all be fun. You just don't judge yourself, is what I would say. I'm not telling anyone to engage specifically in any dangerous behavior, but just don't judge yourself, because it's like a superpower when you stop. Shit sometimes just falls away. You're like, you don't even want to do it. Yeah, you guys get it, right? No.
I think partially I do. I was kind of drifting. I supposedly am an INTP too. I say I'm not. I say I'm not, but Joe is not accepting that.
Yeah.
Joe's not accepting it?
No.
Oh.
I think I'm not. I'm an outgoing, amazing person. I'm not a robot. But then again, I don't know, man.
Then again, like the INTPs seem to be pretty outgoing to me. Maybe not extroverted during their head, but outgoing, yes. All the ones I've met are outgoing. You two are both outgoing.
Me?
So yeah. And
No.
I have another buddy that's pretty close that's an INTP. He's also very outgoing. So
yeah, dude. Good.
But what is it with this? Is this really an INTP thing? I think many people struggle with that, to get to know a person, and then being like, is this the best match? Is this the best one? I don't know, man. Do I have to stick with it all my life? It's good for now, but I thought about something different, maybe. It's just and I thought maybe it's a way of looking at the other person as like a project, a piece of art or something. It has to be exactly this, so that it matches my expectations or so. I don't know. It's really weird. I started looking at women like, I look at them and I'm like, man, this is amazing. This is weird. It's just, how is she doing this or that, and then I sit back and then relax and they like it, it's just I'm just amazed, and I'm just taking it in, but still it's just, I don't know, I this whole marriage thing, I am honest, I don't really get it romantically.
No. Oh, don't worry. It's funny because I understand that point of view really well, because I used to be there. I used to hold not. I mean, I don't know your point of view specifically, Jeff. I know you're a pretty good guy, but I haven't lived in your shoes. What I mean is I don't. But I once have felt that or had that point of view in life, and it makes sense to me from a physical like if you think this universe and you're like a physical kind of person, right? If you have matter over, the primacy of matter and all that stuff, that's where it makes sense from that point of view, because then we're in a place of lack and you're trying to hoard resources and all this stuff. And, what you were saying was exactly right. You look at women as like a piece of art. So in a way, well, not you, I'm just saying people do. We're objectifying other people, and we do it all the time. We do it to the cash registers in front of, we're just like, fuck you, whatever, or someone driving. So another thing is too, I started to see my behavior and how it like affected outside, like the waves of things, and then things happen to me, and I'm like, oh, this is what it feels like. This sucks. So I also had to kind of go through that too. Just random thoughts are popping in my head, but yeah, and I don't know. I can't really explain it, but I just kind of had a shift of what it really was. Ram Dass talks about it when he's like, you're trying to sleep with somebody and he just sees everyone as Maharaji. Like I would just start laughing in weird situations, like, everything just became ridiculous to me. Like, this is just silly. What am I doing? But again, it was me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm crazy, but it's my own. That's what I like about this life in this realm, in this earth, or whatever you want to call it. Everybody can do whatever the heck they want, right? You could, well, in my point of view, there's many paths up the mountain path, and even if you're in a negative, quote unquote, negative bad lifestyle, it's all part of the punch, baby. It's all part of the thing. So that's why I don't judge people, and I found that it helps with that. But yeah, I think maybe, I don't know, does that help?
Mm, maybe more elaboration.
Could you elaborate some more? What do you think, Joe? You have anything? I could weigh in more, but Joe, you talk.
About marriage, not in particular.
No, I
As
mean,
for following what you were just saying, I
yeah,
sort of get it. I mean, I have nothing against marriage personally. I'm still engaged to get married eventually. I probably will. Um, but yeah, I see it more of a legal thing than a romantic thing. Because I can't see how anything would change romantically. But yeah, of course, legally, you got more rights because it's your spouse or whatever. Um, but yeah, other than that, I don't really see marriage further than that. Just like a legal commitment.
yeah, I definitely pull a card. She said, we pulled a card, Kathleen. Hi, Kathleen. She's in the chat. Yeah, I know. I see the legal aspect of it. My main concern is more like in the eyes of God and friends and family, and making the vows. But I also do get why people don't want to do it, and that's why it's like, the first half of my life I kind of lived that way, and now I'm living the other way. But yeah, as far as the legal thing and stuff, that's a whole other, because at least in this country, there's a separation of church and state. Everyone in America. So, I mean, who are you asking for permission when you're getting married? Is it God or is it your mayor? Like, I don't. But to me, it's more of the commitment to myself, honestly, like my higher self and that kind of stuff. That's why I hold it so seriously. But I get why people don't want to do it, because uh, you really are giving up what some people would see as freedom, I guess, or your life. You're giving up your life. There is like a death. There's like a 13. There's like a death card that's involved, but then something that grows out of it. I mean, it's not always more beautiful, right? I mean, but it could be, has the potential. And for me, so far it's been more beautiful. So I'm excited about it. But yeah, and I get it. It's such an interesting debate or thing to ponder, but again, for me, I think the problem is everyone's like, this is how it should be and everybody should do this, and it's like, have you met everybody though? Like, they're all different and weird, man. You don't want to make them do the same thing, do you? You know what happened last time they did that, don't you remember? Anyway, just let people imagine their own. Yeah, but yeah, no, it is interesting. And again, because I wouldn't debate or fight with somebody who try to tell them like what's the right thing for them to do. But I feel like it's it's because I DJ weddings, right? So I've DJed weddings since at least 2008. Not as strong back then, more now, a lot more. But and I've met all kinds of couples, and I will say that there are certain couples that just I don't know what it is, if it's personality type or situations they're raised in just because of their personality now or whatever, and they fit together in a way that's just like a magical thing to witness, you know. And then other people aren't so magical, but it's cool. Everyone's doing their best, and so you know, it's like a degree, it's like a spectrum. So I don't think it is for everybody. You know, some people are like, everyone's got to get married. It's like, yeah, but I don't know, man. You know, everyone's got to breathe air. I guess I can make that claim, right? Maybe, but other than that, you know, I don't know. So now that I'm married, it's not like I'm part of this club that's like, you guys got to get married, man. When are you gonna get married? No, I'm just, you know.
I've got an important question.
Yeah.
Since you said that you have been DJing for what now, 17 years or so? Marriage, what was that? The wedding. Um, do couples look alike? Like the man and the woman? Do they resemble each other? You know, like a dog owner and his dog. You know, is it like that, or is that
Great
then
question.
or yeah, or is the other option that they are totally different, like in every aspect, or that they're gay, or I mean, you know, like
I've seen it all.
is there a rule? Is there something? Is this is there some weirdness that you discovered?
Any patterns?
Yeah.
Uh, not really, because I've seen so much. Like all those things you've named, I've done. You know, I've done weddings where people look like each other. I've done weddings where they couldn't look more apart than they do. You know, like gay weddings, lesbian, like whatever. I just never did no animals, didn't know people, nobody. Okay. And the way I view it is, it was funny because I was talking to Elizabeth yesterday, and she was like, "It's so hard to be a woman sometimes," and I'm like, "I agree, man. Like, I don't." You know, and she's like, if we reincarnate, do you want to be the woman next time? I'm like, maybe we could just be a gay couple. She's like, all right, deal. And immediately I understand gay marriage now, guys. You know, is that a joke against women or gay people? I don't know, but everyone laughs. So I'm gonna write that one down. But yeah,
You didn't say what kind of gay, so it can be anything.
we'll just come back as two rabbits. Anyway, yeah. So I don't judge, man. You know, I think this life, this is the thing. If you're here and you haven't killed yourself, fucking congratulations, man. You're killing it. Just do whatever you're doing. And, you know, if you found someone that makes you feel better, you know, it's weird with the rights thing and all that stuff, but I'm just saying from a person to person perspective, I'm not going to judge someone else because even, isn't that what Jesus said? You know, you shouldn't judge because, you know, so anyway, I'll do whatever. I'm like, you're going to pay me money to play music and party? Okay. So, but yeah, I'm trying to think of any patterns I have noticed. I have seen one that was allegedly strange, but there was like a groom. I mean, the wife looked a little bit like the mom of the groom. A lot of it, like a little, it was kind of creepy, but whatever. Like, yeah, if you're happy, you know, who am I to deny?
You said something about the
Um,
emotional depth of your wife, or that you see that there is. I have been thinking about that for quite some time. I mean, I came from a different direction, which is a bit more easy to measure. It's like strength. This is, you know, like I guess we all are, at least in the West, raised to think that we are equal, like men and women, and that we like kinda are the same but a bit different. You know, it's like the boys and lady parts are different, but that's it. And it couldn't be further from the truth. I mean, if you look at, you know, like sports, who was that? Like Serena Williams or the sister one died. I don't know, but and like the sister who's still alive, she's world class, right? She's the best tennis player,
I think
res
so.
player, girl, woman, and um and I think she had a match with world class tennis player, like a guy, and she wanted to demonstrate that she had a hard time that there's such a difference, or not. I don't know, but or it's like when there's like these female kickboxers, you know, and they're just fighting against a random guy and he beats them. So it's like, you know, like what I came what conclusion I came to is that there's the difference in strength and aggression and you know, like the hardness of the bones and everything in men is so much. There's such a difference. It's just it's a world in between. It's just there's no comparison between men and women strength wise, even if we look the same, right, you know. So I was thinking with emotions, I think it's the same. I always think that I'm a pretty emotional guy, you know. I'm you know, like what's it, like that zodiac Cancer, you know. I'm so you know, like the worst of for the male, you know, to
Wait,
be
when's your birthday? Or you don't have to say it.
25th of June, so it's yeah, Cancer.
Yeah, because I'm July 2nd, so I'm like I'm exactly a week after you. Happy belated, my brother.
Yeah, you too. Yeah.
And I got married on June 2 so
Well,
22nd.
well, then that's good that you're of the same zodiac sign because we are supposed to be very emotional, right? To be moody, to have these ups and downs and everything. And I think I discovered a blind spot that all that emotional depth that I think I'm having, pretty shallow
It's what? Too
compared to a
shallow?
woman. Pretty shallow against
Oh, for
what a woman has.
yeah.
And it's very interesting, man. It's just you know, there's like women, they look at me and they're like, oh, what's up? There's something with you. I'm like, the fuck, man, why are you calling me out? It's none of your fucking business. I just want to function now. I'm a robot. It's just annoying at times that the women, they look at me and they're like, they know what's up. I hate it. Hate it. So, you know, like this, women have something that is non-existent in men. And we have no idea that it's not existing because we think that what we have is just the know-all. You know, this is crazy. So what's your opinion on that?
Well, that's a great question, and it kind of goes along with what you were saying about like bone density and strength and stuff because women, so women have really high pain tolerance, but I think it's like in a different way. And another thing I noticed too is like if say we eat something, we go out somewhere and we eat something that doesn't really agree with us or whatever, because you know how you never sometimes you go out and she'll experience any kind of issue like that night or earlier, whereas I'm experienced like the next day. So and I've heard this before where men do better with toxic things, but it builds up. So after a while, they'll like die earlier or whatever, whereas women will just be affected right away and then they get away from the toxin or whatever it is. So I've noticed that a lot. And I think it's the same kind of thing with emotions. I can't speak for everybody. Again, like you said, I'm a Cancer robot. So I think my moods are more like I just go from being outgoing to not outgoing. I go from like being out of my head to being in my head. And then when I'm in, I could appear cold or, like an asshole. So that would be like the mood swing that I would kind of get. But yeah, as far as the women and the feeling, it's just a whole I don't know though, because maybe personality types are different. I could just say for myself though, as an INTP or allegedly dealing with someone who's a feeler or in a relationship with someone who's a feeler, there is this other thing that I could sense it there, but I can't exactly feel it. But it does put me in better touch with my feelings, and I'm more I can attune my intuition, I guess, to hers, so we're on the same page with a lot of things. Like it's crazy. So does that help?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to just add one thing because it's like a
Yeah.
common misconception out there in MBTI or in Jungian psych is that mistaking feeling for emotion. That's two different things. When we're talking about feeling and a personality type, we're talking about likes, dislikes. That's it. So when you're an extroverted feeler like you two, uh, you look at everybody likes, what everybody dislikes, and you're trying to figure it out like a computer calculating it. Um, like with your
Oh, yeah.
woman who's an INFP, very similar to how you perceive the world and the brainstorming aspects and learning patterns from experiences and stuff like that. Very similar perceiving functions, actually the exact same perceiving functions, but having such a high introverted feeling means that you're really only concerned with your own likes and dislikes. And since it's like the hero, it's the most used function. That they're very, I guess you could say, stubborn about what they like and what they dislike. Uh, good luck ever changing that. But I was just wanted to say, like, they say INTPs could be like robotic, but they don't mean emotional. Um, it has nothing to do with emotions. Everybody experiences emotions, regardless of your personality type. And some people are more emotionally intelligent than others, and some people have more emotional issues than others. It's a spectrum throughout all of humanity. But what we're talking about with feeling, we're talking about likes and dislikes. And when it's introverted, it's all about your likes and dislikes. When it's extroverted, it's all about everybody else's likes and dislikes.
I
So
see.
yeah.
So maybe what I was mistaken for like INFP stuff is men and women stuff. But
Yeah,
either way, maybe I was just using the wrong. I'm glad that see it's a good thing Joe's here to keep us on the straight and narrow with our information. But yeah, what was I gonna say? It's so interesting though to try to what's the right word? Navigate, I guess. Because it feels like being a logical person or looking at things logically as the way I do. It's just because, like you were saying, I don't know if it's the yes or no, but for me, it's like, is it true or is it false? Like, is this true or is it false? That's all that matters. But with people who are like, I've noticed, or at least Elizabeth or feelers or whatever, it's more about like how I feel about the situation, right? Like, does this feel right to me though? And if it doesn't feel right, something can go wrong, perhaps. So it's interesting. And then the like how we talk about it, we came up with a way that if there's something where somebody wants to do or whatever, we're like, well, what on a scale of 1 to 10, how's this to you? Like, I'm at like a 2, and she'll be like, I'm at a 10. I'm like, all right, let's do that. So that helps too with communication. I feel like that's really the biggest obstacle is communication, and I'm trying to express myself fully a lot of times, or not take things the wrong way, or have someone take it the wrong way, and that's what it is. So I've noticed that instead of keeping my feelings inside or how I feel about stuff or whatever, my emotions, maybe you could say, I'll express it more in a way just so it's not a mystery, and it helps out a lot. Or if I say something, I'm like, oh, this could have sounded like this, but I mean it this way. Like I'm just providing information here or something like that. Like yeah. So because it's like you have this idea of what you want to say in your head, and you think when you say it, you're like, oh yeah, I transmitted this idea perfectly to that person, and they got a fucking totally different idea or whatever. Sometimes I see it happen my whole life as a yeah, just witnessing other people. I'm like, they're just fighting about the same thing. I'm like, are these guys on the same side? Like, so yeah. Thanks for that though, Joe. That makes more sense. Any other questions for the married man?
What's
Did
the
you have a gun? No, I'm just kidding.
what's the what's the blind spots, man? 'Cause, it's a topic that I'm working on as well.
Yeah.
It's horrible, and it's enlightened. This is I think what people think enlightenment is. Like one day I turn around and I look at myself and I'm like, what the fuck, man? I didn't know I'm like that. There's something pops up and then it's there, and and also the knowledge that it always was there is there. It's just it's a popping into existence. And I'm so curious what blind spots I still have. I believe none. but there could be one at least. So,
Dude,
what's
I
your
have a blind spot deck that I could pull a card from. It's a Teal Swan did it, whatever. But the deck
Yeah,
itself is pretty good because it has all kinds of different blind spots. I don't
Well, you
need my
do it here?
keyboard, everybody. Anyway, I could pull a card from it for you if you want. I mean,
Yeah, pull a
all right,
blind
give me
spot.
1 second. I'll just, oh no, I'm good here. I'll just go grab it. You guys talk amongst yourself. Hang over.
Pull me a blind spot. Crazy, man.
Oh, blind spot.
Oh,
See?
And Joe, how's it at your place? I have the windows closed so it's not so loud, and I'm
Yeah.
fucking dying in here. It's so hot.
Yeah, I just opened the window again because
Yeah, I thought about it for the
kinda
last
muggy in
10
there.
minutes.
you have air conditioning, you said, or no?
There is
No,
no air
we're
conditioning
Germans.
in Germany
We're
unless you go
Germans.
to
We
a
don't have air
supermarket.
conditioning. We are just surviving. We don't care.
Yeah. Go Deutschland, dude. Anyway, how about this for everybody who doesn't know? Germany isn't fucking Germany, it's Deutschland. I remember I found that out. I was in Europe in the Marines and I was looking at a map and I'm like, what the fuck is Deutschland? Everyone's like, that's Germany. I'm like, they don't call themselves Germany? And they're like, no. I'm like, why the fuck do we then? I'm like, what is wrong with us? People are like, you're so silly, Brandon. I'm like, not really. I'm like,
Yeah.
Germany? What?
Yeah,
Anyway,
I didn't find that out until I came here either.
right? Yeah, it's so weird. It was one of those things. I was like 18. I was like, ugh, or 19. Anyway,
But it's
Deutschland.
hilarious, right? I mean, there's like, what's it? The Japan, the Japanese, they don't call it Japan. They call it
Nippon.
Nihon or
Yeah,
something, right? The Indians, they don't say India. They call their own country, and it made it so much cooler. Bharat. It's just what the fuck, man. It's just so different, right? We cannot call ourselves Germans, because that's to be a Germanisch, to be a Germanic person means to be a Nazi in Germany. So we
are
cannot.
you?
It would be cool, but we cannot.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Oh shit, what was I gonna say? I forgot now. That's all right. I think it's so fun. Oh yeah, there's power in a name. That's what I was gonna say. Could it be there's power in a name and that word germ? I always say I'm like it's like Germany, like germ. I'm like don't fall for that propaganda. All right, I got this deck. What I really had to do was go get tobacco too because I didn't have my jar. But there's a deck though. I wasn't. Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah.
Man,
Mateus,
are you smoking cigarettes or are you smoking joints?
this is tobacco. Actually, it's I get organic tobacco. And I cut
Orgasmic tobacco.
the leaves, and it's just the tobacco.
Yeah,
And I
that's
roll
good
myself.
tobacco too. Really good tobacco. It's like so clean. It's like Brandon's tobacco is like the cleanest tobacco I've ever smoked before. It's like a different sensation altogether. But if you
It
overdo
fucks you
it,
up too.
it's like drinking espresso.
Yeah. Sometimes, like if I don't eat and I smoke, I'm like, oh, I gotta eat something. I'm like, but yeah, I know it's not always like that. But yeah.
So this is like a cigar.
Well, it's the same. So it's Canadian flute, American. No, it's Virginian flute. That's what it is. But it's Canadian grown. There's American Virginian flute or Canadian Virginian flute, and those are the two common most used, I think, for cigarettes. And I get the Canadian one. It's I think the other one's like what Marlboros are or whatever. It's pretty harsh, but this stuff is really light. But like Joe said, it's really well, it's like
Yeah,
tan. It's
yeah.
not brown, so it still has a moisture in it. So you sometimes I get them, I have to dry them out because if you smoke them, you're just like, what do I smoke? It's like a fucking yeah.
But Brandon also rolls them like a cigar. He smokes these huge stogies. He doesn't
Yeah,
just
they're
roll like a little cigarette. Like,
because if you roll them too small when they're wet like this, they don't hit well. So you kind of got to roll them like well here. Here's a lighter for comparison. Da, 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 da. So, but they last, They burn them, so whatever. They're good. Oh, that deck. Where did it? I guess I didn't.
Yeah, you want
I
to fill
got
your
one more
blind?
spot. I can't find my blind spot deck. Ha, hilarious.
Yeah.
It's in a blind spot. I know where it is. The problem was I saw something that I thought was it, and I was sure it was it, but it's not. But I know where it is. So hang on, give me a second. This tobacco break is brought to you by Leaf Only in Middletown. Go to leafonly.com. You can get yourself your own organic. They don't pay me, but tell me you heard it here because I want free leaves, everybody. Maybe they'll give them to me. I don't know. Yeah, so I hope everyone's enjoying the show so far. I've been going for about an hour and 10 or so. I'm having a great time. Kathleen was in here. She's a friend of my wife's, and she loves my show, and she's into all this stuff, self-healing and all this stuff. So we have some great conversations. So it's so cool that my wife can have friends that could watch my show. It's like, because you see my show. It's not for everybody. I mean, I think everybody would benefit, but but it's been cool. I don't really talk about divisive topics anymore. It's just not worth it. It's so silly. So anyway, that deck, yeah, blind spots. I know where it is now. I grabbed the wrong thing. Hang on one more second. All right, someone talk. The blind spot.
Me and Brandon really transformed. He has the whole setup is so cool as well, right? It's not under the roof anymore. Now he's in a real room.
Yeah, I just been noticing
Like
that
it.
myself. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's a wizard room now. It's cool.
All right. So it's not. Hang on, sorry. I'm back, everybody. So it's not that easily accessible, but what I do have is my Crowley deck that was the second deck I ever got, which Jeff is totally right. You should never be your first deck. Well, whatever. People are going to run out and buy it now. I don't really give any. I just like the artwork, and I think the guys have a couple cool things. But other than that, I'm not like a worshiper of anybody. I just worship my kitty cats. They're in here now. What, buddy? I'm trying to
I
get
think
them on.
if somebody's worshiping Crowley or taking it as a religion, I'm gonna offend a lot of people, but then they're dumb. Because it's an art project, man.
Yeah,
Everything dissolved, every doubt, every this, every that about Crowley and his work is it's an art project. It's just how he artistically expressed himself and made it look like a religion or a cult, but it's an art piece, man.
Yeah, that's very well said, Jeff. I think that's right on the money.
I think it shows that that's a man who made his own religion. Oh yeah, the magician, no, the fool, right?
yeah.
See, that's my blind spot. I always think I'm a magician, but I'm a fool.
We're all fools. Could it be?
But yeah, probably I think it's really this thing. He did not create a religion because it's not for everybody. It was his own religion for him, and everybody who's just adopting it, they're not getting it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't care what people say. I'm not even debating anybody on it. I just say fuck him, man. If anybody says something, I say fuck him.
Yeah, it's like what all musicians say about their lyrics. It's like, what does that song mean? It means whatever it means to you, dude. That's kind of how when I look at people like Crowley, like I kind of think the same thing. He had whatever he was thinking, everybody else has taken it and interpreted it their own subjective way. So it's the same. It's the same way, like the musicians say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
either making their demon or their saint.
Brandon, while you're looking for the plot hole, not what's that? The blind spot.
Oh, it's in an inaccessible spot right now. I think I have a chest of things, but there's a cat on it, and I can't just.
Yeah, you cannot, man. You cannot move.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I don't even know if it's totally in there actually because I moved some things around, and so. Yeah. Don't worry, I have that. I have the Crowley deck, and I have some other interesting things, so we'll have fun. But were you going to say something else? Go ahead.
Yeah, it's Joe and I, we talked about this, like this love under will.
Oh yeah.
How people say, like, oh yeah, the will is much more important than love and whatever. And I've seen something the other day. Um, I'm really getting into the like hormones and everything, like how the body works. That to me is the only way how spirituality really works. Like really, how does it manifest in the body? And there's I saw something on some YouTube University channel. It was about oxytocin,
Oh.
the love hormone. When you give people oxytocin, they are feel more connected to other people, or connected in general, like feel love. And as soon as we get rid of stress, um, like the cortisol, in order to make cortisol and all these other hormones and adrenaline, which is supposedly a neurotransmitter. We need what's that, man? It's so late. I'm so tired. My English is not good now. We need like the stuff that goes in that makes it, like the little parts,
The
that
precursors or whatever.
precursors. That's a good word. Yeah, I like that. Thank you. And as soon as we don't need to stress anymore, in order to keep ourselves together
Oh,
and keep
no.
ourselves from falling apart, we automatically start producing oxytocin and all. So this is where when it's always like, oh yeah, meditate, and then you will feel the love and everything. It's just, yeah, just don't stress about shit, and then like reduce the stress, reduce the self-talk, because this is the most stressful, or the most stressing factor in life, the self-talk, the mind. And then when stress dissolves, then the oxytocin kicks in, and then we feel the love. But the interesting thing, why love on the will, why I was thinking about it again. See, I've been mocking like Crowley's system, but I'm using it myself. Yeah, he said like love on the will, and there's this supposedly this phenomenon that when some people take oxytocin, like there's sprays you can buy and stuff, like for the nose and all, whatever. And when some people feel the love, then they become racist. Some people, so it's like they love their own in group and hate the others. So it's like love does not automatically extend to everything. It's just it's
Yeah.
very. So I was thinking like, oh yeah, you feel the love, you feel the love for your white brethren, and then it's like, okay, man, this is the love under the will, like it's like I gotta love everybody. I cannot let love rule, because love is a very unpredictable thing. And it was interesting. I mean, art is important. I think art is more important than religion, because it can still give us something. So Crowley's art project, I think, in a way, is very valuable to look at. So yeah, love on the will. So keep your racist loving ass under the will to love everybody.
That's what happens anytime you try to get a shortcut, when you try to just we'll just take oxytocin, and then you're just racist for no reason.
Yeah.
Instead of doing it right and getting exercise and shit, or whatever I don't know, you're supposed to do, but I'll just get it from a fucking pill, and then you're like, but fuck these fucking Chinese people too, right? No. It's like, what? I don't want to say the obvious one, which is of course dead. I don't know. I couldn't think of anything. But Portuguese, no. Anyway, that's
Oh man.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Interesting though, between the love and the will for sure. So I pulled that Fool card was on the bottom for you, so that kind of helps me because it articulates a little bit or highlights what I probably was forgetting was it's about your state of mind, and I think that's what the Fool card embodies. Like it's kind of it goes everywhere. It could be every card or no card and its own card, and it's all about perspective. And if you could be like a fool where you don't know anything, but like the positive manifestation of a fool, so not like the village idiot fool, which is fine too, but be somebody who knows that they don't know in a way. And dude, let me tell you, just keep reading Frank Herbert's books. You just read Chapter House Dune, and I just finished it again. I'm telling you, it's in the Zen Sunni whip, the stuff that they talk about so great. But really, yeah, what was I saying? I don't know. But anyway, go Dune. Oh, yeah, the Fool card. Sorry, I am a fool. But I think it really does. It's like if you don't take yourself so seriously. I think that's also where the indecision can come from, or where my indecision was with certain things. It's because I was like, well, I got to make sure it's the right one, and I'm important and it's me, which again, we are all important, and could it be we are all God in a way or an aspect of God or whatever, but it's looking at it from a non-egoic way where you're just like, uh, I fucking lost it again. Damn it. Man, I'm a fool. See, I'm rambling like a fool. And this is what the card's all about. It's because I'm embodying what I'm talking about without meaning to do it. But you really it's like the Tao, right? You don't really stand anywhere with things. And I feel like at first it might seem to people like you are a fool, but then to other people who are like have worked on themselves and know it and they talk to you, they're the ones who get it. But really, why it's important is because it just helps your everyday living. That's how it kind of helped me. I look at myself as the fool in most situations, and I don't take it myself so seriously. And I kind of just like, especially after we did that show on Oversharing. I mean, we did the Tao. We did every verse, 4 different verses, and broke it down. And after going through that, it was just like a graduation. I was like, whoa, I really get what they're trying to say here with the Tao. Like I read through, we broke every word down, like. And that's, I think, the whole message is to kind of just go, and it's not always appropriate. Like you can't just be like, well, means go with the flow. Then I just stand and let a car hit me in traffic, or you know, it's what does it mean to you, right? Like Joe was saying with the song lyrics, what does it mean to you? And the way it works in my life, it's helped so much because I'm not looking at myself as the center of everything now. Like, whereas this has to go this way and this has to go that way. I'm more just like, oh, look at what happened here, and how can I do this and be cool and spread my whatever in that way. So I feel like maybe that's why the card came up for you, Jeff. Maybe that's a blind spot that you don't have. Maybe you're taking yourself too seriously. Jeff, what are you doing? No. But maybe there's some characteristics in the Fool, and I would say read that book that you have even later, or you could even look at it now. Yeah, there you go. See, the Hierophant. Yeah, that's even. Yeah. So you're playing the Hierophant now. As long as you know you're really the Fool, though, it's cool. But if you think you're the Hierophant, that's where you get stuck, and then you want to not you. I'm just saying that the people that want to tell people what to do. And I was going to say this earlier too. I forgot, but when you're in a relationship with somebody or somebody, especially when it's one about self-healing, like both people know about self-healing and they came across these topics and stuff and they're into it. There's so many traps and pitfalls because so many times you want to point the finger at the other person. You're like, they should know better. They're just projecting, But what are you doing literally by saying that, right? You're like, you're freaking projecting. So that's another. I was going to say that earlier, I guess, but I forgot. But that's another aspect of this that I'm highly tuned to now. It's really cool. It's like, no, it's at least half my fault. I'm there sometimes, and then no, it's cool though. And it goes back to the Fool really, because it's about not taking yourself seriously. Because, and I don't know, it's like Joe we talked about in other shows where he had this spiritual experience, or it's like a samadhi type experience, and I've never really had that specific experience, but I've had other experiences which lead me to the worldview where this isn't just a physical worldview. Like I've seen people healed, like I was in the born again Christian thing, and you could say what you want about born again Christianity or Christian or whatever religion. I just think it has to do with people's belief systems, but I've seen crazy things, and even people speaking in tongues. Sometimes they're like, "Oh, this person's full of shit," but sometimes when I was there, I'd see somebody and I was like, that dude knows that language he just spoke. And I know that guy. He doesn't really know that language. Like, what the hell was that? So, you can even call it a connection to the collective unconscious or whatever, I guess. But I feel like once you have an experience like that, and then also if you have a near death experience, I had a couple of those in my life. That's another thing that really wakes you up. And I feel like that's kind of what psychedelics can stimulate for people. That's why when they do it, sometimes they have a thing that. But I feel like that's another important. Well, not important. Like you don't need to go out and try to kill yourself, everybody. But I think that's one aspect that people commonly report anyway. So
Yeah, like only near kill yourself for a near death experience, right?
yeah, not a death experience, because then you're just we don't know what happens.
You gotta hit the sweet spot, man.
Yeah, that's don't get too close, Icarus.
Yeah. You know what I figured out my sweet spot is like 2 beers, for example.
Yeah.
I think everybody has to know their sweet spot. But yeah, near death experience.
No, I don't mean like where you die and come back and you saw a light. I just mean an experience where you almost died and you faced your mortality. Like I talk about a time where I got sucked out by undertow at Ocean City when I was like 30 something, early 30s or whatever, and it really fucked with me. But stuff like that, because then you're like, oh shit, when you lose total control and you're like, I could die now. Because then you know what you're really made of. Then you have to face yourself, and I was able to just be like, well, this is my time, this is my time. So I guess that's why the universe spit me back out. They're like, fuck, he ain't fun.
Yeah, I get it now. What you
he doesn't even care. But he doesn't want to die, but he's just like, whatever. No.
Yeah. These occasions where we realize, man, that was too close. That was just, it was not justified that I survived.
Yeah. It's like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. They changed one.
It's like I was walking on water, which is hilarious considering the way I look, because I look like I died for your sins. That's what I tell people. I'm like, I just look like I died for your sins. Don't expect nothing from me. But yeah, I had a sandbar and it was in the middle. It was out there, and I just walked back on this sandbar that was made by, because I grew up in Long Island Sound. I'm familiar with I shouldn't have got anyway. It was crazy. People were just like, how the hell that happened? I'm like, did you look at me? I didn't have long hair at the time though, so they didn't know. And I'm like, who's this crazy guy with a buzz cut or whatever? But yeah, I think it really just has to do with your perspective shift. And what you said about the oxytocin thing and the chemicals I feel like is huge, because I feel like that my whole life I've had this way to just not be in despair about things. I don't know what it was. Maybe when I was younger, I had a spiritual experience that I'm just not aware of, but I always felt like I was never quite alone, and I was never worried about anything. Like I never, even in boot camp, I was just like, all right, like Marine Corps boot camp, I'm just playing the game, like I just, and that's why I love the Fool so much, because to me, this realm could be kind of a cosmic joke. Not on the physical level, like on the spiritual, when you realize that maybe but hey, maybe there is no reincarnation. And I also have a different view of reincarnation. I don't think it's like it's you. If anything, we just go back into a pool of consciousness and then are pulled back out or whatever, but it's not, I think that's another level of attachment where people are like, oh, it's me again. I'm like, I don't know, man. But I'm just excited to see what happens after, when it happens, everybody, YouTube. I'm not going to do it tonight, but whenever that moment comes, because we all die, I feel like I'm just going to try to, like, my cat's up here about to kill my computer. I feel like, yeah, it's just going to be like another, I don't know. I'm just going to, I feel like when you die, and they say this in the Bhagavad Gita and other texts, your thoughts are so important. Most people are freaked the fuck out when they're dying. So if you do go anywhere, right? Where's that going to propel you? So I want to try to be chill. I'm like, this shark is fucking cool. Oh, this hurts. No, anyway, you know,
Yeah.
or maybe I will go
How do they
scream and cry. Who
even know
knows?
this?
I'm not a tough guy. Who knows? I'm not trying to, you know.
I mean, I'm really wondering how can people just write a book or so, or like the Bhagavad Gita, have something to teach, and they say, yeah, when you die, then this happens and that. How? I'm really baffled. I mean, come on, like, are those the people who came back, or like like on YouTube where there's this video that's always recurring every few months. Man has been in hell and he saw this and it was horrible. Now he believes in Jesus. Was it something like that, or is it? It's just I don't know, man. It's so outlandish to me, if I'm honest.
Yeah, well, I think reincarnation itself can become uh like another attachment, you know, because I believe it, even if you had past lives and all that stuff, like yeah, it could matter to a certain degree, but like what matters is right now, you know, like right now is what matters and how you're trying to live today and all these things and whatever you're doing. And yeah, maybe you can use that as a guide, but to me, even like the Bhagavad Gita and when they talk about this stuff, all that to me is allegory on a certain level. And I don't know because I can't prove it. So I hold it there. So it's not a fast belief, you know? So if I die and then that's it, I'm like, I guess I was wrong or whatever. Again, I'm just like, whatever, you know, I'm like the fool over here. And I feel like that's kind of, you know, some people might be like, well, then you don't really stand for anything or anywhere and all this stuff. Uh, but this is a lot of internal, and this is like the way I think and how I react and deal with things that are happening to me and stuff like that. And that doesn't mean that I just choose to stay there and remain quiet or pliant or whatever and do whatever I'm being told to do. Now, then, you know, like I could stand up from there, but it's not a reaction. It's more of the way I want to respond to it. So there, and in that process, I'm more of a free person, you know. But you're right with the whole reincarnation thing. You could get lost or sucked into it, you know. Who does know? Who really knows? Do you, Joe?
Objectively, no.
Uh,
Um, Experientially, yeah. I mean, and but there's a lot to that to say that too, experientially. Um, yeah. What really going back to Michael Jackson, he said something like profound. I was watching some video like a month or two ago, and what he said I experienced as well, where he was saying that like any art, music, painting, whatever, um, it's it's a spiritual experience when you're actually creating something because it's like it's not even you that's creating it. It just happened by accident, and you're just the hands that bring it into manifestation or whatever. Um, and I've experienced that as well. Even just today, I was working on a little music today. Nothing. I was just playing around. I came up with a bass line, and then the song just started writing itself. Like I didn't. Uh, if I'm completely honest, I was not doing it. Like it was creating itself. I was just playing the instrument. Like it just the part was writing itself. Like this whole abstraction that we call a song was being pulled from somewhere else, and my hands were bringing it into creation. Because if I was thinking about it, it wouldn't happen. But if I'm just playing and being creative, it's pulling from somewhere. And I don't know how many times I've gotten, I've been working on a song for a few hours, and then it's starting to sound like something because there's all these instruments going on, and then all of a sudden I realize, am I copying this? Like, did I hear this somewhere else? Because I'm getting such a strong deja vu kind of feeling about this. Like it's always been written, like, and I'm just rewriting it. Um, and there's things like that, and then like that experience that like you were talking about that I had before, and then just psychedelic experiences, and it's just everything coming together. It just to me shows that uh, the body, if anything, is just a way to bring an abstraction into the concrete world. Like even the things you're talking about with the hormones and stuff like that, I always view that like a double arrow. Like the hormones don't cause the love, and the love doesn't cause the hormones. It's tied together. We're just looking at it from two, like, body, mind, and spirit. We're looking at it from a different kind of
Yeah.
dimension.
Yeah.
And as for reincarnation, yeah, it's like you're gone, but I can see how the abstraction that's left over from you that is collecting all these dots and this certain energy. Maybe you have a temper, whatever you are at that particular point, that has to go somewhere and come out as another body potentially. But uh, some sort of body is needed to be able to manipulate um, the rest of the realm that the body is a part of. You know what I mean? Um, So it's like, yeah, I won't debate anybody on reincarnation because I can't prove it. I can't prove it objectively. And Jeff's right, who we don't know who wrote this, but it's like reading through the Bhagavad Gita or the New Testament or these various quote unquote enlightened teachers. It's like everything they're talking about, they're saying certain things that I know are 100% true that I can't prove, but I've experienced myself and I know there's something to it. But I can't debate anybody on it. And if somebody has an opinion to the contrary, it's valid as far as I'm concerned. It's just, that's the way I see it. So,
Yeah. The thing is, you said something very valuable, I guess. It's like, yeah, you cannot debate anybody on it. I mean, this is, it's this thing like we are used to everything has to be debated. And I mean, why even, right? I mean, it's just whatever rocks the boat. The thing is, for example, when I think about reincarnation, it doesn't do much to me, to be honest. It's just I'm walking through life, and
It's
I
an
look.
INTP thing, I guess. We're just like, who cares? What's next? Give me the task now. No.
Yeah. That's what I'm about to say is like really is like I'm so afraid that I'm fucking it up right now that I don't even have time to think about a different life. Who cares about a different life, man? I'm so busy right now to keep shit together. It's just I don't know, man. This is
And now take that, and that's how I feel about women. One woman is all I was saying this to Elizabeth the other day. I'm like, listen, you don't understand. Some guys like, I want all these women. I'm like, one woman is enough for me. It's all I can handle.
that's what I
I'm
tell
like,
everybody
I
as
don't,
well.
because it's not just, you think it's just, oh, we're going to do this little hookup, or no, it never, it's just,
Yeah.
listen. I'm like, one is enough. So yeah, anyway, but I get your point of view. Yeah, you're like, okay, those lives might have been cool. You're like, of course, I was killing it in the other lives too. No.
yeah. It's just like honestly, like the thought of reincarnation is just fucking depressing, man. It's just I don't
Another
see no
task.
solace in that. I think it's fucking depressing. It's just the same shit again. And this is work, man. This is work. This is just but maybe it's for people who are very busy in life and very occupied with life. I think like, man, like something like a sweet nothingness is it's kind of like a sweet dream. It's like just be nothing for a moment.
Yeah. I mean, if you reincarnate, you're not going to know it. So what's the point of even worrying about it in this life then?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's my first time in this life. I'm brand new because I don't have any memory of a past life or so.
That's the
Nothing.
way to face it, I think, anyway. And if you are going to use past life, I think it's just good to use as allegory. That, like I was saying before, because whenever you use something for as an excuse or an attachment, you're like, I'm not afraid to die because I'm gonna just be reincarnated. And it's like, well, what if you're not though? You know, because then you're still holding on. Me, listen, I read the Silmarillion a couple times, and let me, I know it's in store for humans. No, I don't know, but it's a mystery, and that was the part in that which they were trying to even in the when they were writing about, the the kings where Aragorn came from, all his lineage. Originally those people lived, they're humans, but they lived for like 500 years, or they were men or whatever. but it was always like a mystery to them, and it was cool. Like when they died, they didn't know where they went because the elves were bound to the realm. So when they died, they stayed and they had to go like to the other fucking shore and all this shit. But men, it was like this is your gift to die and go somewhere else. So who knows? You know, maybe we get thrown in an eternal pit of fire. Either way, what are you gonna do? I think though all those things are just to trick you from being in the present moment, right?
Yeah, none
I
of it's
think, I
worth
think it's the
worrying
way
about.
out. Sorry, Joe, I interrupted. Can you say it again?
Nothing's worth worrying about. That's all I said. And even a lot of the like the enlightened masters during the ages, they all were asked the same thing: what happens after you die? And they said, "I don't know. I'm not dead." So yeah, that's the honest answer, I guess, right?
Oh, the enlightened masters, man. Do you know Ibn Arabi?
Who?
Ibn Arabi?
I don't think so.
Mm, it's Avicenna. Is that another name he has? I don't know. Mm, he wrote a few books, like a lot of books, and he was a mystic,
Take
Sufi mystic.
Nahan.
Huh? Again?
How do you spell it?
Ibn,
Oh,
Eibn, and
oh,
then Arabi
Ethan.
like Arab.
Like the desert almost. No, I
Yeah,
don't. It doesn't sound familiar.
like the desert dwellers. And this is amazing, man. I came across his works. That's fucking bonkers, man. This is just uh like reading a few pages or listening to somebody read it. It's just so enlightening. This just I was so baffled, man. How can a person be so smart, have such insight? And then I've seen other things on other Sufi mystics. And that was hilarious because they were all like how Jesus Christ is depicted. You know, like it's just for the Sufi, like Jesus is just another among them. It's amazing, man. This is I don't know. I don't even know why did I say this now? I don't know. It's just weird. Yeah.
They picked one because he looked like them. They not like us. Tell you a former religion. I don't know if you're familiar. I think there was something else I was going to say too. Oh, come back to me. Come back to me, Brandon. There was something I was going to say about this.
Brendan, your cat tries to escape.
Yeah, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get her now. This is
Put
the
it back in the
mystical
box
kitty.
now.
She's mystical black cat.
Mm-hmm.
She talks. Are you talking to me? What are you saying? Silly kittens. Maybe it was about reincarnation. I don't know, but that's one of those things again. Like you guys said, it's not even worth debating because anything you can't prove. What's the It's probably nothing no one can even think of. Or maybe it's everything in one. Maybe if you think you go to hell when you die, that's where you go.
I
Who
mean,
knows?
come on. Let's be honest. I mean, I don't know if this is an INTP thing. I mean, that's our spleen, right? It is an INTP thing. But it's like even if I had proof that I will reincarnate, I would not do the work to prepare. It would be like doing my homework or something. I would not do it. So it's just futile. It's just don't even tell me, you know, because it will be the same. It's like the moment that I realize it, it's too late. It's already happening, and then I'm just doing it last minute, like everything, and that's enough. You know, it's just
Exactly. It's like
I
if
don't
you
know.
knew the future, it would be like in Dune when they play with that topic about knowing the future and prescience. So like it's just boring. After it's like if you know you're gonna. kind of has that
Is that
flavor to it.
being a nihilist? What I just said?
What's that?
Being nihilistic? Is that nihilistic?
No, I don't think so. It's just that people who want to know their futures, like if you want to know, it becomes boring if you know what's already going to happen. Then you're really just like living going through the motions. And that's kind of what they play with. They play with that in Dune and in the later books. So it's like, because in the later books, they don't try to get prescience anymore. They're not trying to see the future because they're like, we don't want to know, because then you could get locked into it or whatever anyway. But I'm trying to bring it back to what you were saying. I'm stealing it again. What were you?
The thing is, are they even really seeing the future?
Well, yeah, that's the yeah. Well, that's
Or
what, because
just
you
the
get locked
possibility?
and you make it happen when you think you see it. And
Uh-huh.
if you knew that there's reincarnation, then you might live even different. Like you would just not even care or do any of the work that you're here to do, or things wouldn't matter as much to you. But it's good though if they don't matter. But this would be like a false way of getting there. You know, like the fool kind of embodies coming home and not recognizing it as the same place. You know, because you've changed. So it's the same kind of concept. I feel like if you know about reincarnation or whatever, and you know for sure, then this realm isn't gonna do what it's supposed to do. You really have to feel life and death and feel the adrenaline and still act despite the fear and all that stuff. You know, that's what I did like with stand-up comedy. You know, you got to act despite the fear. The Marines, Joe knows, the military, like all these things. And as you do that, and when you're doing it in the self-work stuff, like you get nothing but really, I think, like rewarded. That's how I feel. Sometimes it doesn't seem like a reward, I guess, but it's all in how you take it. Are you a victim or you're not, kind of thing. I don't know. Guess it depends how deep you go.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is like, what's real? What's really real? I look like I had like 10 beers already, and now I see it.
This is the thing. No.
I haven't, I haven't hit the sweet spot yet, but what's really real is what we put our mind to, the world becomes. That is really, really, really real. This is just,
Yeah.
it's just scary, man. It's just fucking scary. And you know, it scared the shit out of me. And I'm so numb to that now that I just accept it and I work with it. But it's just really, it's I don't know how is it with you guys, but for me, I've been working with that for so long, you know, for so many incarnations that that it's just that I'm very aware of that. It's just, you know, instantaneous, you know. I don't know. What are your experiences with that, or do you not have an experience on that? Is that a blind spot you're having?
Well, I'll say quickly that I feel like this, maybe it's something I'm just realizing, but I feel like this time, especially after May 1st, it's really been a time of like shit just manifest. And like you said, if you're thinking about something or it just comes up, like you just deal with it. And I don't know, maybe that's what 2020 was about. People knew that 2025 would be like this, so they needed their attention. And you got this freaking insane show, I guess, going on. I have no idea. I guess Ozzy Osbourne isn't around anymore. R.I.P. But all kinds of crazy stuff's going on. But anyway, I think it is to hold people's attention. I'll tell you one thing: I've been just putting my attention into what I want to grow and manifest or whatever. But and it's just, yeah, it comes right there. It's just right. Like I don't know, Joe. What do you think? I saw you nodding your head.
Yeah, what Jeff was saying, that the world starts reflecting. Yeah, that's yeah, definitely a thing, and that's all quote unquote spiritual work is to me at this point. I think is um I still have ups and downs and internal suffering or whatever, but it's always trying to cling to something, a quote unquote attachment, um, resisting wanting something to change. And I don't really worry about it anymore. For a while, I was kind of worrying about it, but at this point, it's like, I got a body, I have certain abilities, I have a good life, and I don't know what the future is going to look like, but I know from the past, that things change slowly for me, internally, who I am, and as long as I keep letting some of that resistance go when I catch it, I'll keep changing the rest of my life, and I don't know what that's going to look like at the end. Or I don't think about it. I don't care if I reincarnate or go to another realm or any. I don't really think about it, to be honest. I don't care. Uh,
Yeah,
I have yeah, I have my life here, and that's what I focus on now. And the work is just to feel more peace internally, but it's very slow, and I never know what it's going to look like after it unfolds. And then, hindsight being 2020, you always look back after some months or years or whatever, and you're like, well, I am completely different. Like, for a lot of my life, I hated people. I don't hate people anymore. I don't look at people with malice anymore or contempt like I used
yeah,
to.
yeah,
And
right. It's so
I don't
freeing.
know when that shifted either. That just changed. So, um, yeah, I don't know. But what the world is reflecting what you are internally for sure. And um, that's pretty obvious.
I think it's amazing. It's like really, it takes up speed. You know, it's like the Doom Slayer. You know, you got to do your first kill, and then everything. The next kill is faster. You know, and everything speeds up, and then you're just raging through the world and making kill after kill. It's just it's just hilarious, man. How things take up speed. And then sometimes I have it that, like what you say, like the internal suffering when I'm like, and then I'm sitting there and I'm like, my fucking gosh, how did I get myself into this situation again? What world did I create? It's just this, and then I'm like, man, this is like, whew, I lost control again. It is hilarious. It's really, and thinking about that, it shows me, there's a getting used to it. In the beginning, there was something. It was a long time ago, like more than 10 years, or like 12, 13 or so. Like where it dawned on me, and I'm like, fuck, man, this is really the world is reflecting who I am. It's like all the shit that I am in. This is me.
Yeah.
this this is it's not even my fault. This is who I am. It's even worse. It's not my doing. It's my being. And I was like, shit, man. I have to endure. I have to suffer through this world unless I figure out how to fucking change myself. And the magician has been born, right?
Mm.
But
Or a
yeah,
fool.
but yeah, the fool. Yeah, another beer. Just one moment.
No, you're good. Yeah, no, I like what you said there. 100%. I just never. I don't know. I always had this crazy optimism. I don't know what it was. So I never felt like. I mean, I guess I was suffering and stuff like that, but I never had this like eternal despair like this all sucks. A couple times when it came to like my career and stuff, maybe. Like, I gotta fucking work in this box now forever. Yeah, maybe, yeah. But I don't know. I think that's why it makes me good at like dangerous extreme situations because I just keep my head. I'm just like, all right, let's see what happens now. I'm like, all right, how crazy is this gonna be? But and I've also been thinking about this idea to try to turn it into a bit where I kind of was in when I was in the Marines, I was basically paid to be a comedian, like because I was a shitty mechanic, and they wanted me to stay, and they even told me like, yeah, you just keep morale up. And I'm like, wait, what MOS number is that? Am I a 60, 69? Like, can
Yeah.
I have that? I'll be like a chaplain. but like a Laughlin or whatever, you know, like I just show up when the situation's dire and just make everyone laugh. All right, everybody. Private Smith is here. I'll just be a private the whole time. E1. Just so they can't take me too seriously. All right, everybody. Warrant officer, that'd be good. That'd be good. But yeah, actually, I'm thinking about trying to transition and figure out a way to become a chaplain in this setting that I find myself in, because there's so many vets and just old people, you know, that are near end of life, and or vets that just need someone to talk to. And you know, I'm good at talking about all those things. Just look at my show, everybody. More laws, more problems.com. Check out my website. You'll see what I mean. It's my quick commercial. But yeah, I think it'll be cool because I was a Marine and there's no Marine chaplains because they all have Navy doctors and chaplains. So it's funny that I had a job in the Marines. I worked on ejection seats. It's one of the only jobs in the Marines that actually saves lives because they don't have doctors. Like I said, they use Navy corpsmen and stuff. And now I'd like to be the Marine chaplain, which would be funny because I mean, I guess there could be some Marine chaplains, but Brandon, the peaceful policeman. Yeah, that would be, oh, dude, I would be a great cop. I just show up like this, be like, all right, you get the fuck out of here. You hide that. You get. Yeah, when I was right when I got in the Marines, my mom was like, you should be a police officer. And I'm like, have we met? I'm like, yeah, I'd be great at doing all that stuff, but man, they're like, what? I didn't even smoke weed then, and still I was like, have we met? No. I'm like, I can't, because I was actually an MP for a little while. I got to do that, and I just couldn't deal with pulling people over and like silly things. Like I could stop real crimes or people from hurting people, but I'm not gonna bust someone because they don't have their inspection fucking tag. You know, like I didn't have my inspection tag. I'm like, my shit's not inspected either. How am I supposed to write a ticket? They're like, all right, we'll send you back to the air wing. Like, we can't deal with you here. You make too much sense for a Marine Corps MP. I couldn't even guard the gate. No, it was cool. I did it for a few months, and then I was just late a couple times. And by late, I mean like a few minutes late. Once I was a little later, but it was just they were just really strict. And I had already been on an aircraft carrier and stuff, so I was like, guys, come on. So they sent me back. It was cool. It was only supposed to be for 6 months. I think I lasted like 4.
Well, that's one place you can't be late. It's the military, man. If I was even 15 minutes early, I would be fucked up. So
Yeah, no.
Oh,
Well, it was just it's hard to explain because when I was on the carrier, we were just 12 on, 12 off every day. So I worked every day 12 hours, and I would just show up and like I wouldn't be late for that. But then once I got back to this setting, then I was on. Then we got sent for 6 months, or I got sent there. It was just like 12 hours on the gate in like 100-degree weather, and then but you had to show up an hour and a half early, so you had to be there at 5:30 in the morning. So there's a couple of times where it was like 5:32. So that's all. But no, I hear you. You're right. Especially with the MPs, they were just not happy about it. But I was like, I was just on a carrier, dude. Like I'm just, yes, sir.
You know what hurt? When you are repeatedly like a few minutes too late, then it shows that you really don't want to do it.
Yeah, you're right.
There's a psychological thing. I don't know how to call it, but it's like really it's like it's not it's like this last minute procrastination and all is like always like 5 minutes late or so, and that it really shows us that we don't really want to do it.
Makes sense. Oh. Well, good thing I was on time for this show. I love you guys. All right, so we've been going for about 2 hours, so we could wrap this up. I don't want to keep you guys too late, and I'm running out of steam a little bit. I'm sure you guys know. You had a full day already. I just did driving earlier, so. But any final like closing kind of thoughts or anything you want to talk about in future episodes, or I don't know. What do you think? Any words?
I don't know, man. We should make future episodes, but I figured out that I have lost my depth over the time. I just became comfortable inside myself, and I just don't give a fuck about anything anymore. I'm just on dates with different women. This is all I do nowadays. It's just I'm
This
pushing
is.
forms at work and going on dates. That's everything I do.
Have you heard of Bukowski?
Yeah. I'm reading Bukowski, and it's reflecting my life. I mean, he's drinking more than I do, but it's like the
My
women are.
wife is a huge Bukowski fan. She's a poet, and she, dude, whenever I can convince her to get on here with me and read some poems, which is soon. Anyway, don't try. That's what he says. And you're getting there. You're fucking killing it. I'm not trying to give you advice. Trust me. I'm just saying. Remember those words. Don't try. Because, dude, the dating. I don't know what it's like in Germany, but here it's a shit show. So, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's usually when you give up. It's when you find somebody you're compatible with. So
Your
when you
moment
stop
of greatest
trying.
despair.
So,
Yeah.
mm.
But what do I know? I mean, again, I'm not giving you advice, dude. I'm just saying you get it. It sounds like though, you're going to look back on these days and be like, those are some great days. And I see what you mean. I don't think you lost depth at all. I see what you mean. Whereas you were like, well, I'm probably not explaining things so much because I really feel like I don't care. But what you don't realize is people that watch this are going to notice that, and just the way you carry yourself is going to like inspire them to fucking want to not give a fuck too. Because that's what I do. I'm like, I have a field where my fucks are grown, and that field is a desert right now. I'm sorry. I'm on a guilt vacation. We're bringing this back. This is a topic I came up with like a month or two ago, where I was talking to my lovely wife, and I'm like, just go on a guilt vacation. I'm like, I went on guilt vacation because I realized there's so many times in my life where I was feeling guilt, and then later I was like, oh, that guilt was unfounded. Someone was either trying to control me, or I was looking at the situation wrong. I didn't need to feel guilty, whatever. So because I felt so much unwarranted and unfounded guilt in my life, there's no reason to feel guilt anymore. I'm just going to go on a vacation for a while. And I was like, you could do it too. You don't ever have to come back if you don't want to. And, again, this doesn't mean you just be an asshole or whatever, but it just means that you don't apologize for yourself and your actions because you realize that you're just a man or a woman doing your best. And that's what we're all doing. And once you realize that you're not the problem, when, maybe we are the center of our own problems, but you're not the problem in the way like there really is no problem with you. Kind of in a way are perfect, right? It could be. That's what Alan Watts says. That's what the Dow says. Because you're a reflection of the world, which the world, do you want to change it? I don't think it can be done, right? Isn't that what they say? If you tamper with it, you'll ruin it, something like that. The world's perfect, it's sacred, or something like that. Anyway, in that way, if you could view yourself that way, then you start to, or you begin to stop all these behaviors where you're trying to please other people because you realize that behavior is just because you thought you weren't good enough and you were trying to be this good person for them. But then you're like, I'm a fucking, look at me. I'm 6'5", I'm a giant, look like this. If people don't like me, there's got to be something wrong with them. And if you think of it that way, it's such a, more, I hate to say like healthier, but it's just a better way to control your inner self when you look at it that way, because then you're not a victim, I guess I could say. So anyway, that's a long spiel, but it's my show, so I'm not sorry. I'm on a guilt vacation. But yeah, everybody, you guys can go on a guilt vacation too. And it doesn't mean you're an asshole out there and to be a dick. You could still look on past things that you did and say, what can I learn from that? That's what it means. That maybe I said the wrong thing. I should have been. But what it doesn't mean is you overthink it and you're like, did I do the right thing? Should I have done that? No, it's like, I got to be there. That's what I'm talking about. That person who's like that voice in that person, that voice inside the adversary. That's people sometimes call him shaitan or Satan, right? It's like, you did this terrible thing. Why did you do that? That's what I'm saying. You were trying to eliminate because the guilt, the strings, it's fucking everywhere. It's so crazy. Anyway, that's my ending rant, I guess, for the show. And I will say Maktub because we were covering the Alchemist, and I love that. So be it, or whatever. Yeah. All right, I'm done. And I'm spent. All right, everybody, go to morelawsmoreproblems.com. No, Joe, do you have anything?
No, I have nothing to add, but I would love to do another show because, we didn't even have a topic and we just did 2 hours and it flew by. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And everyone in the chat seemed to like it. Wasn't a lot of people, but, quality people nonetheless, and other people see this. And there's, again, like I said, the way we just are and can communicate, there's a lack of this on YouTube. where do you see three men just fucking bullshitting? And we all know, great, we're talking about topics that most people would be like, how dare you, reincarnation is real, because if not, then my aunt is really dead. You know, like, so we're just like, yeah, whatever, dude. So I think that in its own is just people in the future are like, wow, those guys are nailing it. Guys, stop building the statues to us. We know we're great. This is a common theme I do on all my shows. Anyway, thanks guys for hanging out, and yeah, we'll do it again soon. Wednesdays seem to be a cool day for my show, but you know, subscribe, click the bell, everybody, because you never know. I could go live from my car studio. That's not really car. That might be. You know, we can go live at any time. I've reached out to several people, and I have been. It's my plan to get going for the summer. So I have other guests coming up too. So stay subscribed and stay tuned. And check out Joe's show, Joe and Spoons, who have both been on shows with me before. Amazing. Been on the Oversharing show and everything. And on my show, I can't remember all the things we've been on. Where do they find your show, Joe?
Where the Mind Wanders on YouTube, and we put out an episode most Mondays at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. So go check it out there.
Moon Days. Check out the show, everybody. All right. And if you're eligible bachelorette, you can hit me up and I'll put you in contact with Jeff. No, don't hit me up. Just find him. I don't need anyone. I got enough. I got one woman and my kitty cat Snickers. She's my other woman that I got in my lap, and my mom, and I'm good. And my nieces, they're great. But other than that, unless I have any daughters, that's the thing. We'll get end on this because Elizabeth and I were. Anyway, when you toy around with the idea of helping people, right, and becoming like a person who helps other people with their problems, like a healer or whatever, when you look back on things that have happened, there's a lot of times things that are gurus or like movements or churches or whatever they were shit got weird, like sexually, right? We'll just say it, right? So I was saying to her in conversation, being funny too, but like if we go that route and we try to figure out some kind of healing thing, like one of the upfront things will be like, listen, because I'm a comedian, I'll just be like, listen, you just need it. We don't want to fuck you. Like, we'll help you. We'll do all this shit, but we just don't want to fuck it. Like, don't try. Like, trust me, you're not the one, like, because it does seem that these things devolve sometimes into these weird. Anyway, so yeah, if you're an eligible bachelorette, reach out to Jeff somehow. You'll find him out there. He's in Germany, and let me tell you, this guy, he's a catch. Look at him. All right. Anyway, that's fine. That's our promotion for Jeff. All right, everyone, and you can go to morelawsmoreproblems.com to check out my stuff. And like I said, subscribe to the bell. More content's coming soon, and I guess I'll play the outro song one more time by the lovely Quentin Farrell. And until then, everybody, just be cool, right? Be cool to yourself. That's what I'll say. You could take the Bill and Ted's excellent thing where it's like, be excellent to each other, party on, and be excellent to yourself. All right, everybody. See you later. Bye, guys. Take care. You can sing along if you want. Just kidding.
Bonanza, we're hanging out. It's the Brandon Bonanza show. Bonanza, we're hanging out on the Brandon Bonanza show.
Oh yeah.
Hanging out on the Brandon Bonanza show. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we're done. Perfect. Look at that. Average view duration was 26 minutes. Hang on.